Hello, welcome to the Swing and Bunt podcast. Today we have the two semi OGs. I guess I am. I guess you're not really, but kind of.
Kinda.
We know it's been a while. We do apologize. We blame Jake. We always blame Jake. We've all been coaching. We've been working. Wes got married in this middle of this. I had a child in the middle of this.
Hey.
So it's been pretty busy. All that said, thanks for being patient with us, and hopefully you enjoy it. It's just me and Wes. It looks like maybe CJ might pop in, so it's gonna be a little hit here, there, hit here, hit there, and then we'll jump into basketball and probably focus most of our time on basketball because it's really heating up.
Yes, it is.
So without any further ado, whatever Jake says here, this is the Swing and Bunt. All right, Wesley. So the NFL trading, free agency, everything is just heating up like crazy.
We had us quite a week, didn't we?
We did. I mean, blockbuster after blockbuster. That's really there's just three blockbusters, but
I mean, there were big blockbusters. It wasn't like it was. And we had a big signing, which pretty much caused all the blockbusters.
Well, we'll start there. So I'm assuming you're talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers got a $200 million 4-year contract, which is 153 or 57 million guaranteed, which is insane. The guy's 37 years old.
50 million a year.
He's old too.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's still slinging it. But what's your thoughts on that contract? You think they did too much? You think it was a good? I mean, they had to do it to keep him. I know he was asking for a lot.
I mean, 50 million is a lot. The way quarterbacks are lasting these days, though, I mean, Rodgers is kind of on the same career path as Brady. I feel like it's not as far as championships, but as far as longevity because of the way they protect quarterbacks now in the league. So I think 4 years is pretty safe. 50 million is a lot because that's the going rate for an awesome quarterback these days. But I'm fine with it. He's old, but the way they protect quarterbacks these days, I think it's a pretty safe bet. I think it'll be interesting what they do with Jordan Love now to see if he gets moved, because
a lot of people think he is going to get moved now.
I mean, if he's on the I mean, Rodgers has a 4-year deal. His contract's expired by the time Rodgers is expired too. Yeah. So we'll see.
And then they immediately franchise tagged Devontae Adams, which I thought was the best thing they could have did because, well, without Adams, I mean, Rodgers is not going to be as good
or as happy. So
yes.
Just think though, I mean, they could have had instead of drafting Jordan Love, you could have had T. Higgins on this team, but they went to go with quarterback. So yeah, sure, Aaron's very happy about that.
I will say this is a year to get a wide receiver, though. I mean, there are so many wide receivers in this draft.
It seems like each year the wide receiver class just gets deeper every single year. So maybe not the high end. There's no Calvin Johnson in this year's draft that we know of, but there's the depth is impressive for sure.
All right, which triggered the next trade because everyone was talking about maybe Aaron Rodgers going to Denver, but obviously had bigger plans. So Denver moved on from him and went to a humongous trade with the Seattle Seahawks. I'm looking at all the details. I forgot to pull them up before this, but I know Denver got a 6th-round pick and Russell Wilson, and Seattle got 2 firsts, 2 seconds.
Yep.
No offense, Drew Lock and another player that I don't really know. I don't think.
Yeah, just some defensive end, I believe. Yeah.
So, I mean, that is a haul for a player who's. I mean, like we said, these quarterbacks are a little older, so people are paying out of the craziness just to get a Super Bowl chance.
So, who won the trade, in your opinion?
Denver. I think it makes them a Super Bowl contender right away.
I would agree with you. I mean, with the defense they have some really if their wide receivers can stay healthy, I mean, Russ is going to have a field day with those guys. But yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, they did give up a lot, but we've seen teams like the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
They buy talent with picks. I won't say what Les Snead says, but their GM of the Rams, but they don't care about the picks. They like the players. So I'm actually interested to see what Seattle does now, though. Are they going to hold on to Drew Lock, or are they going to give Houston Texans a call and knock on their door with Deshaun Watson? So it could lead to another blockbuster.
I have heard that they are selling, and I heard DK Metcalf is actually on the shopping block.
Wow.
Someone told me that he was supposed to go to Baltimore, but I haven't seen any actual rumors on that, so I don't know how accurate that is. But I don't know. I mean, who knows what they're going to do? I mean, Pete Carroll's 90 years old almost. It seems like he is about 80. I think he's 79 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, they were. I mean, I wouldn't say they were like the terrible team last year, but as they always do, second half of the season they always do that nosedive. So, I don't know. I don't know if they're rebuilding or if this is just kind of like a limbo season, trying to see what they are. I don't know. I don't know.
And maybe they got these picks to get Deshaun. I mean, it makes sense. Well, of course, we'll find out about Deshaun, I think, tomorrow, if he will be able to be traded or will be suspended. He has his court thingy tomorrow. So
yeah, I know that they're having his court day where I think the judge will declare on what that will be. But either way, I'm just shocked that they went this long. I would have thought they would have settled a long time ago. But we'll see. I don't think it'll be a full season suspension, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was 8 to 10 games. So. Unless
you're Calvin Ridley and you bet $1,500 in 17 games. But we're not getting into that. the next trade that happened, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday.
Yep.
Carson Wentz and the Colts got traded to the Washington Commanders. This one was kind of weird to me because he had a decent season. He was 27-7 last year, I believe.
Yeah, that's all sports radio in Houston's been talking about, how Carson Wentz actually wasn't that bad. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
So, the Colts are rolling with Sam Ehlinger now? What is this?
I hear they're going for Jimmy G is what I've heard. And I think that's the most logical. Even though Jimmy G's just Carson Wentz, but a little, I don't know. He's a little more careful, maybe better decision maker, but maybe I think Carson Wentz is more athletic.
I would agree. I mean, he's like, historically, Carson Wentz has had trouble taking care of the ball. Last season, he only had 7 picks. Yeah. So I mean, he didn't throw for 40 touchdowns, but he took care of the ball. I mean, with that team, you just want to have a guy who can take care of the ball and hand it off to Jonathan Taylor. So I don't know what they're wanting. I guess they think they're going to upgrade. I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo's a huge upgrade, but hey, more power to him. This to me seemed like a desperate move from the Commanders, though. This seemed like an obvious missed out on Russell Wilson. Went out and got Carson Wentz right away. So
apparently Russell Wilson got an offer for 3 first-round picks from the Commanders, and he voided it.
Well, I also heard that the Seahawks were wary to trade him within the NFC. So trade him to the Broncos. And to worry about him, but
I don't know.
Carson Wentz gets to play the Eagles twice and the Colts next season.
Goes crazy. I like the guy. I mean, he's a good guy. I think he gets too short on the stick all the time. But who knows? Maybe I just don't know football.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked he got traded. But
I mean, they lost so much money. They gave him a 3-year contract, I think, for like millions of dollars, and they just ate it. They didn't care.
Well, the Commanders are going to pay his full salary next season for $28 million. So, hey, I mean, they got their quarterback situation right, so they don't have to worry about that.
I do think he's an improvement from Tyler Heineke. I mean, a lot of people don't think that, but I really do think it.
Yeah, I think so too. He's not a top 1 or 2 tier quarterback, but he's a solid 3-tiered. He threw for 3,500 yards, so not going to throw for a lot of yards, but 27-7. A lot of teams would like to have that. So.
And that brings us to our last trade, which happened hours before we started this podcast. And this is, I think it's interesting because the Bears traded Khalil Mack to the Chargers for a 2nd and a 6th-round pick. Which at first you're like, oh, that's awful. But they shed, I think, $30 million off their cap.
Yeah, that's big.
I mean, they had a bunch of dead money. So like $40 million in dead money, but they still have that $30 million. I don't know the exact number. I think it's $30 million. Now they can spend on who knows, another defensive player that's younger. I don't know.
Yeah, or I mean, just rebuild, and you're not having to. I know that they're not going to be in. They're not going to be in cap. They're not going to have any cap penalties this season because they'll be under the cap at least. So bring in a second rounder. I'm sure they were trying to get that first rounder from the Chargers, but didn't get it. So they got a second and a sixth. So it's crazy. Khalil Mack's been traded 3 times now, 2 times,
and now he's going to be paired with Joey Bosa too.
Ooh, that is scary.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I think the Chargers probably got the better end of the deal in this one. But I think the Bears were just trying to lose that money.
Yeah, I mean this was a long-term move for the Bears. Just trying to get rid of shed salary and just kind of they're definitely hitting the reset button. Starting over. We'll see if Justin Fields is their long-term guy. First, they got to protect him, so maybe that's what this round pick will be. So some protection, we all hope. So yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we have for the NFL.
A lot of movement in the NFL this week.
Yeah, and we'll see. I'm sure when is I guess it goes all the way till August, probably, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll see what
we
happens.
We have the NFL draft coming up the end of April, though. April 28th through 30th, and
that's my favorite draft.
It is a lot of fun. So we'll see guys like we'll see if any QBs rise up in the draft.
Malik Willis is climbing.
Malik Willis has been gaining some steam out of Liberty, so we'll see.
This is where Max should have been on the show. He could just drill all about him.
Yeah, we could have had our Max segment of Malik Willis, but I don't know. We'll see. This is where the hand size comes into factors in, and Kyle Pickett's got baby hands apparently, and
so did Drew Brees, but look at him.
Yeah, so we'll see. I think it'll be interesting. Any needs from your Falcons before we get into baseball that you're excited about?
I mean, we have the 8th pick, and I think we're looking at Olave. Is that how he says his name, Olave?
Yeah, Olave. Yep.
But I really, really, really think we need to go defensive line. We had the worst amount of sacks last year. I don't think we can get him at 8. I think we'd have to get him a little later. But I would love to get Jordan Davison out of Georgia. You can see how athletic he is and how freakishly good he is. He's not projected to be top 10, which is shocking to me. I would love him at 8. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean,
he's been rising ever since he blew up the combine. He had the biggest combine. For those who don't know, Jordan Davis out of Georgia is a 350-pound nose tackle, ran a 4.78 at the combine. Also had like a 10'3" broad jump, which is the most ever from a guy that size. So he runs like a gazelle, and he's 350 pounds. Only thing I would say for that is we don't have many nose tackles that are pass rushers. So that might be the only deterrent for that. But I mean, you got an athlete like that, you can't go wrong. So we've seen guys like Dontari Poe just be menaces in the middle. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a guy like him go at 8. So.
We'll see, though. We'll see.
Yep. Well, you ready to get into some baseball?
Oh, yes. Finally, baseball is back.
Baseball is back. Collective bargaining. We had a 99-day lockout with baseball. Now, new opening day is April 7th. We will have a full 162-game season.
Oh, they did say that?
Yeah. We did some research before the show, and so we got some deets. Got some deets on MLB. It's for the 5-year labor deal that we will have 5 years of labor peace. Player vote passed it by a vote of 26-12. I don't know where that came from because I guess there was more than one person from each team. So, anyways, but it passed. So we are into free agency. Where I'm actively watching out for any free agent deals because now, as of 6 p.m. on March 10th, Central Time, players can sign contracts. So, a few new changes in the new collective bargaining agreement. Number one, the collective bargaining tax raises from $230 to $240 million. What that means is for teams that go over their salary cap of $240, they have to pay a tax. So they can go over it, and there's, so it's not like a cap, but if they go over that collective bargaining tax, then they have to pay a tax to the league for that. So minimum salary goes up for all rookie players or players who have yet to reach arbitration. That minimum salary goes from $570,000 to $700,000 for rookie players. So it looks small compared to guys making $20-30 million, but it must be nice having a minimum salary of $700,000.
Rough out there.
Yeah, very rough. So that gross to $780,000 by year 3. And new to the collective bargaining is a bonus pool for each team. They will have $50 million to spread around to their young players who have not reached arbitration yet. So they have a $50 million bonus pool for those young players, which is new. MLB owners were happy to get a postseason expansion. That it's been expanded from 10 to 12 teams. And also the big one that not a lot of people are talking about, they have agreed to allow advertising patches on jerseys and helmets. So we will see advertising on baseball jerseys for the first time in MLB history. We will also see the universal DH from National and American League. So no more pitchers hitting. That will be implemented this season. There's also a draft lottery for all teams. So they're just like the NBA. There will be a lottery to make sure teams aren't tanking for high picks. And then let's see, they've also added a limit on the number of times a player can be optioned to AAA in one season. So
that's good.
Yeah, so guys won't be brought up, sent down, like all in one season. So there's a limit on that. And plus the other big one was they've also introduced an international draft. So now when international players become eligible, they can't just sign with any team. They will have to put their name in the draft process. So out of these new changes, what kind of caught your eye? I know you kind of winced on the universal DH, but what do you think?
Did they sorry, I don't think you said anything, but did they do anything for like minor league players?
They did do there is a draft pick inducement to discourse to discourage the service time manipulation. So I believe what that means is if they bring up a player who I don't know who's younger, they can get draft compensation for that.
Okay, that's good.
So that way it helps players that like the Chris Bryant situation. So that won't happen again. So now if teams want to do that, they're going to get compensation for doing that. So
good.
I know that was in there. That might not be 100% accurate, but it's
say it with confidence. Nature. I'll believe you.
Yeah.
All right. The thing that stood out probably was like we talked about the international draft before, because the Braves really do use the international before this. I mean, you look at Acuna, Albies, Camargo. I mean, we have a ton of people from overseas.
Yeah, I mean, not overseas,
but over water,
over the short sea, over the Caribbean. But yeah, Astros are the same way. I mean, Altuve, Framber Valdez, Luis Garcia, Jose Urquidy, you name it. All those guys came from the international pool, and now those guys will be drafted. So I'm sure the teams were very happy about this because now you get the small market teams will have a chance to get these top-notch international guys. But the players, from what I'm hearing, aren't too happy about it because they're now they won't get these big bonuses. Now they'll have a draft slot pay, so you can only get the pay from what you have in that draft slot. So they might not be too happy about that, but we'll see.
Oh well, I mean, I don't know. I think it balances out the league a little more, so I can't really be mad about it. I wonder if it's going to be. Is this going to be a lottery as well, or is this going to be reverse order?
I don't think I don't think it'll be a lottery, but I didn't see confirmation on that.
Okay.
So we'll have to wait and see on that one.
I think that'll be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
What's you got? Yeah, baseball is back. April 7th. I'll be glued on the TV. Don't you worry. Me and my baby. We got our Braves outfit and everything.
Already got it picked out.
Got it ready.
Good.
So you got anything else for baseball?
No, that's all I got. I mean, I'm curious to see if Carlos. I'm hoping Freddie Freeman goes back to the goes back to the Braves because I heard if the Yankees get Freddie, the Braves could be looking at Carlos Correa. So that would break my heart. So I hope that's not the case.
What if we just got Correa and kept Freeman?
That's not going to happen.
All right, moving on. We're going to transition into it is March, and we know the biggest long sporting event we have is March Madness. I mean, people don't even know basketball participate. It's just a fun time. And that is going to happen next week. We are currently in the middle of the conference championships, conference tournaments. And I am so excited. I watched all the SEC games today. I watched Florida lose a heartbreaker. They were down like 20 something and then came back, and then they lost on a buzzer beater. It's an ugly shot. The guy just drained it. It was a good play. I'll give him that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, didn't A&M have a big lead, and then Florida came back and they took it to overtime, and A&M just kind of eked it out. And it's been interesting because last year they were terrible. This year, Buzz Williams got him playing really well. So
is this
credit to him.
His first year there?
This is his second season.
And he was at Virginia Tech before, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I've enjoyed it too. I mean, we got to see a punch thrown in Syracuse the other night, and
they probably would have won today if they had him because they went to over. They were down
possible.
like 2
That's
with
possible.
like 2 minutes left.
Buddy's a big time shooter, and they lost him against Duke. So Syracuse will be interesting. It'll be interesting because I mean they're always in the tournament. And they're always a weird team to play because they play that amoeba 2-3 zone. So it's a different game. It's like playing against a 1-3-1 in high school. It's just a different kind of basketball.
So the SEC championship, the Big Ten goes till Sunday, and Big 12.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I know that it's currently ongoing. So I'll have to. I don't know I know Texas lost today to TCU, so that was a big upset.
Oh,
and then
I'm so sorry.
I mean, it is what it is. TCU is the second best offensive rebounding team in the country, and Texas has a front line of 6'4", 6'5", and 6'7". So
I really love your main guy, your good guy. What's his name?
Timmy Allen?
No. Your other guy.
Andrew Jones?
Yeah, Andrew Jones. And it's not just because his name is Andrew Jones.
I was gonna say, I mean, you had a pretty famous Brave whose name is Andrew Jones.
He got his NIL bonus, and he gave it, I think, all of it to cancer research, which I thought was awesome.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's like a 6-year senior because 2 out of his 6 years
leukemia. Is that what he had?
Yeah, he had leukemia and fought it, battled it, beat it, and even while he was in the hospital, he got into a hospital where there was a gym, and he was shooting hoops every single day. So, really cool story. If y'all don't know about Andrew Jones, look him up at University of Texas guard. Really cool story.
But, it's the only good thing to come out of Texas.
How dare you? I mean, they'll be in the tournament, but we'll see. It was the disappointing start to Chris Beard's tenure at Texas, but we have high hopes for him.
But you'll be in the tournament, so you'll probably be. My guess is like a 5 seed, maybe. You think?
Yeah, I would project 5 or 6. Yeah.
Saying that, I don't know if we'll have another show before the tournament actually starts. We might do one just specifically for the tournament.
Yeah.
But if we don't, let's go ahead and just choose who you think will win and who you think is sleeper that might win, and who do you think will get upset in the first round?
Ooh.
I know we don't have all the rankings, like who's 1, who's 2, but you can have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I'm actually not as high on. So whenever I'm picking teams to win national championships, I have a few things I'm looking for. I'm looking for a lead guard who can take over a game. The one time I actually picked it right, I picked Kemba Walker in UConn to win it all. So I want a strong lead guard. I want a big man, right? So, I don't want a string bean like Chet Holmgren. I want a big guy, like what Baylor had last year, or even Drew Timme. But so that kind of rules out Texas, unfortunately. But teams that I like, Let's see what we got here in the top
I mean, I can
25.
tell you who you should say
Yeah,
based off what you
go
just
ahead.
said.
Go ahead.
Based off what you said, I think you should choose Kentucky because they have the best big man in the country. I think them and Kansas, but I'll say Kentucky. And then they have good guards. I don't know if they have that elite guard that can just take over, but they have a shooter that can take over a game. I forgot his name. He's a light skinned dude. I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Oh, he was the guy who came from Davidson, I believe.
I got it right in front of me. Then you have Oscar. I'm not even going to attempt to say his last name.
It's Theway.
Theway. I think he should be in consideration for the top player of the year. I mean, he's putting up 20 rebounds almost a game. It feels like.
No, every time I watch him, he has a good game, which says a lot about him.
Kalen Grady is who I was thinking of.
Yeah, Grady. Yeah, he came over from Davidson, so they're known for their shooters. The lights out. So, let's see. Well, I like Auburn solid. I like Arizona, but I tell you, I mean, a team that got upset today, but a team that's always in the mix is Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin. They don't have a strong lead point guard. I mean, they have Ben Davison, who's been there forever, it seems like, but I like their two guard. I forget his name. I think it's Jordan Davis, I think. But he's going to be a lottery pick this year. He can score in the mid range. He's a good 3-point shooter, very athletic. So I like Wisconsin. I like let's see, Baylor's always up there. Houston's going to be they have a strong team this year.
They blew my bracket last year.
So I'm looking forward to watching Houston. And Arizona would probably be one of my top picks as well. So I'm Arizona, Wisconsin, Houston. Those would probably be my 3 picks to win it all.
All right, I will go ahead and just say I think Gonzaga will be there. I think I don't like the Holmgren kid or whatever his name is, but they're pretty good. I mean, they didn't lose everything last year, and they built on that, adding these young guys. I do think they will be there. But if I had to choose right now, and I'm going to probably regret saying this because Tennessee beat them, but I think Auburn will be there. I think they will be in the championship. I think they have the number 1 or top 5 pick in the draft in Jabari Smith.
Oh, it's not top 5. It's top 3 at most.
He's built just like Kevin Durant. I mean, like tall, skinny, lanky, can shoot. He can't dribble as good as Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
But he's built just like him. Like I see Kevin Durant, and
I would say he's more filled out than Durant was at that age too.
Yeah, well, Durant was a twig when he.
I mean, I won't say he was Chet Holmgren size but it wasn't that far away. Now Chet Holmgren doesn't have the game Durant had, but at least this what's his name?
Jabari Smith. Yeah.
He's got an NBA body. That's what I really like about him. That's why he'd be my number 1 pick if I had the number 1 pick in the NBA draft. So I really like him. I think he's a great talent.
And then
I don't know too much about Auburn. Do they have how's their guard play?
Let me get there.
Okay.
They also have Walker Kessler, who is in the Player of the Year candidate. He averages I think 4 blocks a game or something nuts.
That's the big man. That's
4.5 blocks per game.
That I like to hear. Yep. He came from North Carolina last year, transferred to Auburn, having a really strong season.
And then they have Katie Johnson, who is the small point guard. He looks like this. He's so stocky, like he can't lift his head back, but he's the one that closes games for them. And that's why, based off what you said, I feel like Auburn has all that. They don't have the humongous big guy, but they got Kessler.
I mean, Walker Kessler's 7'1", and
he's not, but he's pretty skinny though. Is what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I like the size though. You look at teams like Purdue back whenever they had Isaac Haas. They had some size. They made it pretty.
Garza last year for Iowa.
Yeah.
What a disappointment.
The only problem with Purdue is they didn't have the lead guard that they needed. They would have met that, but U of H had 2 lead guards. They had Quentin Grimes. They had Dustin Dejan Giroux. They had, and then you go back to Baylor. They had Davion Mitchell, Jared Butler, 2 alphas, and so I'm looking for that. I don't really see it yet this year, but I mean, just based on what you said with Auburn, I would probably put them in that boat as well.
And then if I had to do a sleeper, I want to do Tennessee because I think we do have a team that could compete, but I do not think we can win because we're so inconsistent.
Yeah.
But I could see I can see. And there's so many St. Mary's. I mean, they look good. You think about.
Yeah, I saw them beat up on Gonzaga last week.
Of course, then they lost to them in the tournament, but
Yeah, they did.
I can see Arkansas doing good. They're very deep.
I'll tell you who's a really good tournament team is
UCLA.
I can see. Well, I was gonna say UCLA, also Alabama.
Yeah,
with Nate Oates, I can see them making some noise. They have really strong guard play. They have some good shooting. They're top 10 in the country in 3-point shooting and up tempo play. My only question with them is can they score in the half court? So strong guard play. Their bigs are questionable. So that's. But if I had to pick a sleeper, I'd probably pick Alabama as my sleeper.
there you go. I will just stick with I'll say UCLA. I know they're ranked 10th, 13th, but they have the experience. They have players that can compete. I mean, they got the main guy. I can't say his last name. I have trouble saying words.
Oh, Johnny Juzang?
Yeah, and then they have
Jaime Jaquez.
What's the other guy? I can't think of my name.
Well, there's Jaime Jaquez, Jaquez.
And then there's a guy with a weird name. He has a weird first name.
Like Tiger something?
Yeah. Yep. Maybe. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up.
Is it the point guard?
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever that guy's name is. I know who you're talking about.
Tiger Campbell.
Yeah, Tiger Campbell.
And he's good. I like watching him play. I actually like watching him play probably best on that team.
Yeah. And UCLA's got good depth. They got one guy who was predicted to be a lottery pick, but just hasn't played well on their team. So we'll see. We'll see how they end up. But yeah, I mean, UCLA is always a tough tournament team. And then making what were they, Final Four or championship last? They were Final Four last year.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be there. I have no doubt about that. So.
All right, well that was good. I love talking college basketball. We don't get talking enough.
I just can't wait. I just can't wait until we get there. We can fill out
46 brackets. You know how we do.
46, and
get
have all of them busted through week 1. But yeah,
stupid. All right, welcome CJ. Welcome to the show.
Hello,
Mr. Carl Jenkins.
CJ.
Hey.
Well, we just finished college basketball, and we're going to move on to NBA. So you came right in time.
Well, before we get there, CJ, right off the top of your head, who is your pick for college basketball national champion?
On the
spot. That's right.
I'm gonna be sentimental and say that Duke gets it on Coach K's last year. That's just for a good story.
And the show's over.
Yeah. All right. Well, good job putting you on the spot. And
you answered a lot faster than I would have answered. Seattle Supersonics. They're coming back.
I did hear. I heard the mayor is pushing for it. So
interesting.
But my thing is there's 32 NBA teams. 33 just sounds weird.
I'm sure they could do if
you're gonna add one, you gotta add two.
They probably would. And they'd probably be another California team or something stupid.
Oh, please no.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where else.
I mean, Tennessee, I guess they have Memphis.
Yeah. They could do
Greenville, South Carolina.
Yeah.
We don't have any team in South Carolina.
But the NBA doesn't like the Carolinas.
They like Charlotte, but nothing else.
They don't really like Charlotte either, though. Because remember,
no one likes Charlotte.
They had the All-Star game. They were going to have the All-Star game there, and then they moved it because of the bathroom thing a few years ago.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I do remember that. I also remember them moving the Pro Bowl or whatever from Atlanta, but I'm not better.
All-Star game, yeah.
All right, so sorry to go on a little sidetrack there. So right now, it looks like the teams in the playoffs, the top 6 teams, they're pretty safe there. But the bottom 4 for 10, 9, and 8, I think it's absolutely nuts. Let's just pull up the standings real quick and look through those.
Do you remember what I said before the season started?
I don't remember anything you
Western
said.
Conference team. I said the Lakers would not make the playoffs.
I'm really hoping they missed the play-in too.
And right now, the Blazers and the Spurs are coming for them right now.
If the Blazers pass them, they should quit at life.
If the Blazers hadn't lost 6 games in a row, they would be there. Currently, they're 3 games back. The Spurs are 3.5 games.
Oh, I see. Pelicans are going to – Zion's coming back, so hopefully they pull their crap together. Anywho, we'll start with the West since you brought it up. only one team has clinched a playoff berth already, and that is the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah,
who are 40 games
heater.
over 500, which is
just
nuts. This is reminiscent of the Golden State days when they were just. It's only what they were 50-something, 53-9. Is that what they were? Whatever. I don't know how many games are. 67-9.
They're 73
and 9.
9.
And 9.
73 and 9. Yeah. 82 game season. Yeah.
So I mean, they're not super far off that.
I mean, they're hot. They're just so good at home.
And they're doing this without Chris Paul too. It's a great
on the road. Yeah, I mean, Paul. I mean, they brought pretty much their whole team back, and a lot of times when older teams bring their whole team back, usually doesn't work out. But they're a young team. You know, they brought a lot of their guys back. I just love what they're doing with their team, and they play unselfishly. They've got great wing defenders. They've got great big man play. Even JaVale McGee off the bench is playing out of his mind. He had 11 and 15 last night. I mean, they put it on the best team in the East last night, and they said they did it. They wanted to make a statement, and they did. They're scary.
Now, probably the sleeper team of the year. There's two sleeper teams. There's one in the East, one in the West. The number 2 seed in the West, which is nuts because the West is usually pretty much top heavy, like really good top heavy. Number 2 seed right now is the Memphis Grizzlies.
That's incredible.
What are your thoughts on them right now?
Ja Morant is amazing. I mean, that's really what you got to say about their team. He's definitely taken a big leap forward. MVP candidate. They drafted so well, I think. Especially even looking last year, they didn't make it out of the first round, but you could see like Jaren Jackson Jr., other names that are slipping my mind.
Desmond Bane.
Desmond Bane's huge.
Yeah, Desmond Bane out of nowhere. I don't know. They've drafted well. They have a really they play well together, and they have the superstar to kind of lead them forward. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, no, I love what the Grizzlies have done. They've kind of remember they were always grit and grind. And now they're young and exciting, but they're still very physical and very. They still have that. I still feel that same kind of intensity when I watch them play. And
they don't play so slow anymore.
Do what?
I said they don't play slow anymore.
No
more Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol.
No, they're fast. And whenever they put Brandon Clark and Jaren Jackson in the game, it's like watching a bunch of gazelles run up and down the court because they're so fast. But they still have that toughness in Steven Adams and Jaren Jackson, and Desmond Bane looks like he's like a freight truck out there because he's so jacked, and he's a shooter. So it's like they're tough. They're going to be tough in the playoffs. There's Ja Morant's Ja Morant, so it's they're excited to watch. He's electric.
And then next we have the Warriors, who are kind of sliding. They said, okay, let me get this off my chest. I saw people talking about the fact that the losing streak has happened because Klay Thompson came back. No, it's because Draymond Green got hurt, and Draymond Green is the glue to that team. Mm-hmm. So everyone keeps talking about start Jordan Poole over Klay Thompson should be slapped right in the face.
Yes, they should.
Right. I had to get that off my chest. All right, moving on.
Good. Yep.
They're on a skid right now. They're 3-7 in their last 10. And like we said, it's really probably because Draymond Green's not there. And like we said, he's the main piece of them. Defensively, just smart. He's so smart. He's probably one of the most brilliant players in the league. Even though I don't like him very much because he's kind of a punk. But the guy could play some basketball. I'll give him that.
I mean, even on the offensive end, he's not a scorer, but he's a great passer, and he creates a lot of open looks for Steph and Klay. So, but like you said, he's the glue to that team, and I think he'll be back. The other thing I'm interested about with the Warriors is they're young guys. Kuminga has been, he's learned how to play. I mean, he's playing in his role. He's not trying to do too much, and he's been playing fantastic. He's put up 21 and 6 and 6 the other night. I believe they won in that game, and he played great. Moses Moody's getting some playing time. He's playing all right, but James Wiseman's playing in the G League tonight for the Warriors, and
so he only gets 2 games. Is that what they? I was confused.
they're just kind of giving him some run because these are the first 2 games he's played in
a year.
since however long. So he's not going to be a starter for them, but if he can give them some meaningful minutes off the bench, it's number 2 overall pick, giving you minutes, and he's a giant. He might. I mean, I don't think he'll start by the end of this season, but things go well in the playoffs. I could see him getting some playoff starts if things go well.
His size is something they desperately need. I kind of wanted them to make a move at the trade deadline. Like when I saw Sabonis get traded to the Kings, my heart hurt a little bit because he would have been great on the Warriors. But yeah, like what you said about Draymond, they just don't have another guy that can do that. They have a lot of scorers and they have people that work well together, but there's like a grittiness that Draymond has that takes their team to another level. And so defensively, they just have a hard time right now, I think. And then they're so small that they also have a hard time rebounding. And I think that's something that even at his size, Draymond, like really, because that's probably the biggest weakness of their team is they can't rebound if they don't have like the 1 or 2 guys in there just because of how small they play. So I think getting him back will take them back to where they were a 1 seed earlier in the season. I think they'll get back to that level if Draymond can come back and stay healthy.
Yeah, I think they might not be able to catch the Suns, but I think they can. I mean, they're only half game back from the Grizzlies. I wouldn't put it past them to get a 7 seed, but I think it'll be kind of helping with the rebounding. Maybe Wiseman can come in and help with that. I mean, 7'1", 250. So I mean, just that size alone should be able to help a little bit with these bigger teams. I mean, once they get to the playoffs, you got teams like the Timberwolves or even the Clippers with Zubac. Zubac is a heck of a rebounder. So Zubac and Karl Anthony Towns at the 7-8 seed. And then, you don't want to face the Nuggets at the 6 seed with, that monster playing out of his mind down there. So yeah, definitely needs some, getting Draymond back soon. That'll help, but having some size would help as well, which Wiseman could help. So keep going in that sense. Jazz are the 4 seed in the West, Mavericks 5, Nuggets 6.
I think 4, 5, 6. I mean, we expected them to be there. I mean, maybe not in that order, but like I thought I picked the Jazz to win the West at the beginning of the year. I still think they can, probably won't, but like those 3 people we expect to be there.
Yeah. I mean, I could see the Nuggets rising up a little bit, getting into that 4. I can see the Jazz.
Is Murray coming back this year?
So Murray and Porter are both shooting to come back first round of the playoffs. Okay. That's their goal. So
wow, that's tough.
Mm-hmm.
If they could, whoever they go up against would be ticked having to play those guys.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, they're not going to be 100% most likely if they did come back. I could see Porter not making it back. I wouldn't be surprised if Murray came back just because Porter's dealing with back problems. And those tend to linger. Yeah. I can't remember what Murray's dealing with, but
he has he tore his ACL, I'm pretty sure, or something in his knee. I think so.
Yeah, I could see Murray coming back, but if they get 1 or 2 of those guys back, that's just scary. That's adding 2 more
really
pieces to the puzzle. So, but out of these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which one of these are you most surprised? Which one of y'all most surprised by where they are in the standings?
Probably the Timberwolves. Well, y'all are all going to say the Lakers probably, but I think the Timberwolves at 7's a huge improvement from last year.
Well, I'm not surprised by the Lakers, but
I'd say most of America.
I didn't think the Timberwolves were trending in like a playoff direction over the past couple of years. They kind of seem like that team with a lot of young guys that just is always never makes it, but good for them for finally putting together somewhat of a run to at least get some playoff experience for their roster.
Yeah.
So I would agree. I think that's the most surprising to me, just because I didn't think they could do that, to be honest.
Well, one that's surprising to me, I mean, T-Wolves is a good choice. Clippers at 8. I mean, they don't have Kawhi Leonard or Paul George.
Yeah, it's pretty
They're
nuts.
still balling out. So
Ty Lue's doing a good job down there.
Yeah, Ty Lue. And
we just talked about, I had the names a little bit wrong, but we talked about Reggie Jackson. I think he's the one that's just carrying that team right now. Like maybe not scoring wise, but he's definitely the motor that's pushing them in this run they're in.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're very gritty. They don't have the alpha. They don't have the Kevin Durant or
But they got Luke Kennard.
yeah, but they're well coached. They play well together. They have some guys stepping up. Amir Coffey, he stepped up and played really well for them off the bench. Luke Kennard, Zubac has played phenomenal for them, underratedly phenomenal. And they're deep and they all play well together. They're all very unselfish. Like you said, Reggie Jackson's been the motor behind in the car. So Marcus Morris has played well. I don't think they'll make any noise in the playoffs, considering they'll have to play one of the top 3 teams in the West, most likely the Suns. But it'd be interesting if I'm not saying it. I don't think Kawhi's coming back, but if Kawhi did come back, it'd be interesting if they got the 7th seed and had to play the Grizzlies.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting round for sure.
So, but I think it's cool what the Timberwolves are doing. I don't really know how they're doing so well. I guess Anthony Edwards just taking the next step, but
yeah,
because it's pretty much the same team that they had last season. They were bad last season. So Anthony Edwards taking a step forward, Russell staying healthy, Karl Anthony Towns taking another step forward. They're just I guess they did pick up Patrick Beverley, so that helps getting a leader in the locker room.
Yeah, and a little grit. They kind of needed that.
Yeah. What are you sneering at, James?
I can't stand him either. He drives me nuts. I think he's a very, I don't know, maybe he talks trash and it drives me nuts in the game, and it's so stupid.
That's the pot calling the kettle black, considering the biggest trash talker in the league is on your team.
He is not a trash talker.
Oh my gosh.
All right, moving on to the East.
Anyone in the league who the biggest trash talker is, they will tell you it's one person and one.
Of course, I'm not going to hate.
They'll tell you 2 players. They'll tell you Draymond Green and they'll tell you Trae Young.
Of course, I can't hate the guy on my own team. That's just
it
wrong.
is a publicly known thing. How do you not?
All right, first seed in the East. We have the Miami Heat. Now, I don't know how I feel about the Heat. I know they're the 1 seed. I know they're going to do well, but I think they're a shaky 1 seed. I think I picked them. Nope, I picked the 76ers, I think, to win the East, which is looking very probable.
I'm pretty sure I picked I picked the Celtics this year.
I think you did too.
And it wasn't looking good early, but now it's looking pretty good.
They're much better now.
Yeah. So you got Miami, Milwaukee.
The Heat have played well, but there's the teams behind them are definitely. It seems like there's the Bucks have won 6 games in a row, but I'm more scared of the other teams than I am of the Heat because they don't have that just dominant player that can go out and score 50 on you. I mean, Butler's a good player. I like Bam Adebayo, but Kyle Lowry's okay, but they don't have those big alphas that I'm scared of like these other teams do.
I like Tyler Hero, but like we said, they just don't have that one guy. Like Milwaukee has Giannis, Philadelphia has Embiid or Harden. I mean, it's kind of hard, and they're playing so well together right now.
I would say that's the one problem for the 76ers is they picked up Harden, which in the playoffs, if anyone hasn't been noticing, he disappears in the playoffs. So good luck, 76ers.
Ben Simmons 2.0.
So, but I mean, the Bulls, DeMar DeRozan has come out of nowhere, and
he's just a mid-range
he's
machine.
Been a top 3 MVP candidate this year, and then you got the Celtics, Jason Tatum. Going bananas. He needs 35 points his next game to pass Larry Bird for the most points in a 4-game span in Celtics history. So that's pretty good company.
That is very good company.
Yeah. But how about these Nets falling all the way down to the 8th seed? We're gonna say it. We need Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Or they just need Kyrie to play. What does that allow?
And Katie's been out. Like they've just been super injured, man. That's bad luck.
I mean, they're not deep either, which hurts them. I feel like this team was built around Harden, Durant, Irving, and most of them haven't hardly played, and they traded Harden for Simmons, who's also not playing. Now, they did get
Steph
Curry and Drummond
They
back
got
in the
Steph
trade.
and Drummond.
So
I actually liked that for them. So
that was a good get for them. But considering that Simmons wasn't playing for the 76ers to pretty much trade for the guys who are playing Drummond and Curry for Harden, it's a good trade. I would say it's the Sixers want it, but it's not a bad return. That's it.
And they got two first round picks. Yeah, I think 2 first round picks too.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
But the biggest surprise probably of the whole NBA this year, I think, has been the Cleveland Cavaliers. Last time me and Wes talked on the show, we talked about one team that we thought was overperforming and that would fall off. And we both said Cleveland. And boy, were we wrong.
Yeah, man, these guys I love Cleveland now.
Garland is a monster. He's just killing it right now.
He is fun to watch. He's on my fantasy basketball team, and he is fun to look at the stats, the box score.
Yeah, I stopped looking at that a long time ago. I'm like in 14th place. I looked the other day. I have Evan Mobley, who is just probably going to win Rookie of the Year still, you think? Maybe. I don't know. Cade Cunningham's starting to play well. I still think
there's a lot of guys surging. Josh Giddey's played well. Cade's played well, but I would say Mobley from start to finish, he's been the best rookie so far. I would say
he's big. He's a big boy.
He'd still be my vote.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that he's 7 foot, 240 pounds, but he can guard 1 through 5, which is the incredible thing. Which is how they're able to start 3 7-footers when everyone's healthy, because their starting lineup when everyone's healthy is Garland, Isaac Okoro from Auburn, who's 6'6". And then Lauri Markkanen, 7-footer, Evan Mobley, 7 foot, Jarrett Allen, 7 foot.
Jarrett Allen's gonna block everything at the rim.
Well, they're all 3 of them. Evan Mobley's a great defender too. So their front line is scary. Like no one in the NBA does what they do, and they're cool to watch. I like it. And then they have Dean Wade coming off the bench, not to be mistaken for Dwayne.
No relation.
Dean Wade, and then Kevin Love coming off the bench as well. So they're fun to watch. I watched them the other day. I was like,
I hope they do well.
I'm tired of watching the Lakers on TNT. I want to watch the Cavaliers on TNT.
Listen,
there you go.
If the Hawks didn't win the East, I wouldn't mind Cleveland doing it. But the Hawks will win it. So,
the Hawks they're in the playoff hunt.
We've been in a 10 spot for about 2 months now. It's kind of driving me nuts. We win, then we lose. Look, we're 5-5 in the last 10. That's what we do. We beat the good teams, and we lost to Detroit. We did lose to Milwaukee yesterday. I'm just going to say some questionable calls, but we played bad, so it's our own fault. We shot selfishly. But I do think I actually like being in the 10 seed, honestly, because if we win our play-in game, you know who we face first? We face Miami. I mean, as of right now.
Okay, but if you're in the 10 seed, you have to win 2 games before you face Miami.
And
you have to beat the Hornets, and then you have to beat whoever loses out of the Raptors and the Nets.
All right, so let's see. Hopefully, Brooklyn climbs up ahead of someone else. Cleveland. I'd rather play Cleveland than Brooklyn.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
I think
if I was the Hawks, I'd rather not be in 10 through 7. So
I will say that the biggest surprise probably in the East, besides the Cavaliers, is the New York Knicks, who were the 4 seed last year, and now they are 12 seed. And
I mean, I would throw in the Hawks too. I mean, the way that they played, I was expecting them to see a top 3 team in the East, and we got a 10 seed here.
I think so. When we traded Cam Reddish, we were looking like the Boston Celtics at the time, and it's just because Cam Reddish he's so offensive minded that we didn't need that offense because we have so much offense with other people, and so they meshed. Didn't mesh well together. So I was glad we traded him, even though I loved him. That's when we turned our season around in the sense that we were not 10th. We were like probably 12th or 13th at one time.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I think we can compete with pretty much. I don't think we could compete with the top 2. I don't think we could compete with the Bucks or 76ers, but I think we compete with everyone else in the East. But we got to make the playoff first. So.
Well, I mean, there's another team you're forgetting in there. The Celtics. They're the hottest, one of the hottest teams. They have the hottest player in basketball right now. And they have
peaked too early.
They're only a game and a half behind the Sixers. I mean, they have the same amount of wins. Sixers just have 3 less losses. So I think the Celtics could jump up. I think they're trying to get to that at least the 4 seed. But
that home court, that's huge for them.
So I mean, I'm excited. The NBA. I mean, playoffs top to bottom. I mean, the Suns are having a strong season, but they're not unbeatable. So I think the playoffs are wide open this year, which is refreshing to see. Considering we had so many years of. I feel
like it started last year. I feel like last year was a really good year because you finally got Milwaukee to win it. So maybe it stays like this for a while.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Before we get into trivia, one final question: if you had to pick, honestly, who you think is going to win the NBA championship this year, as of right now, who you got? Everyone's back healthy that will be there in the playoffs. We'll say that because that might affect some of y'all.
Yeah.
I'll go first. I'll still pick the 76ers. I think I know you don't like Harden in the playoffs, but I think Embiid, he was hurt last year, and that's why I think they lost to the Hawks because he dominates. I mean, he dominated the playoffs. He honestly was killing us, and then his injury just slowed him down, and he got tired, and he couldn't really move very much because of his injury. So Harden doesn't have to do a whole lot, I feel like. And then I love Maxey. He's really fun to watch. And just I like the team. Doc Rivers, I think he's a terrible playoff coach, but he's a good coach outside of the playoffs. So maybe he pulls it all together, and I choose the 76ers to win the championship.
I mean, I agree with you about Maxey. I mean, he is a really great player, and he plays well on and off the ball. And I feel like he's an underrated piece of that team. But
I didn't even say Thibault. Is that his name?
Yep.
I didn't even mention him. He's the best defender.
Matisse Thibault. He's a great player too. No, I mean they have some great young players. Of course they have Embiid and Harden and Tobias Harris, but those two guys, they're no slouches. I'm gonna stick with the team here. I think they're hitting their stride right at the end, which is maybe a little too early, like you said, but I'm gonna stick with the Celtics in the East. If I had to pick a team in the West, right now I really like what the I think the Suns got there last year. I think this year this may be the year. So I'd like to see a Suns Celtics finals. That'd be the ideal scenario for me.
All right, Mr. Carl.
I think that if I'm picking one from each, I think everybody back totally healthy. I think the Nets are still the favorite in the East. They're just so talented, and with KD and last year they almost made it through with just KD. They just have KD and Kyrie there the whole time. I think anybody that plays them is going to have a hard time beating them 4 out of 7. And then in the West, honestly, before health, Golden State was the 1 seed, like for most of the season. And I think Draymond back healthy, having Wiseman back and healthy for the first time all year, having Klay Thompson back for the first time all year, like all of those guys back, if they were all healthy and playing well, I think the Warriors would make it out. And of those two, high scoring affair, I think the Warriors have more experience as a whole team kind of going through that, so I would pick them. But
if I had to pick a third team, I would have picked the Warriors.
I had to pick Denver. I think if they're all healthy, that's the key thing there.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. No, I'm excited for the NBA. We got March Madness coming up, so there's just some good basketball coming up that I'm excited for.
And then it's all over for months and months.
And then we got baseball.
We got baseball.
Baseball. Yeah.
All right. So all to you, Wes. Send it our way.
All right. Trivia time. Today's trivia, James has requested an NBA type trivia because we're some of the NBA guys. In case y'all didn't know, with no Jake or Mitch or Mac here.
Anyways, NBA guys.
Question number 1, and this is the total, not the average per game. Steph Curry leads the NBA in 3-point makes this season with 273 so far this season. Who is number 2? Is Does anyone like to take a guess before I give you all the options? No.
Sure do not.
Nope. None from
I
James.
have no idea.
Nope. Okay. The answer choices are Malik Beasley, Fred Van Fleet, Buddy Hield, or Patty Mills. Also, if you can tell me how many the second place guy has made, you get an extra point.
Exactly on the dot.
Or we can just save it for if y'all tie.
There's no way.
How about this? Whoever gets closest.
I like it.
All right. So Steph
All right.
has 270. Whoever gets closest to second gets the second point.
All right, who goes first?
All right.
James, you go first.
All right, Fred VanVleet.
CJ.
That's who I was going to say. But in the spirit of not saying the same thing as James, I will not say the same thing as James. Who are the other options? Because I forgot after I heard Van
We
Fleet.
have Fred Van Vliet, Malik Beasley, Buddy Hield, Patty Mills.
Oof. I'm gonna go Patty Mills.
I didn't choose Patty Mills because I think Wes is trying to trick me because he had him in fantasy and he was killing at the beginning of the season. But I think he died off a little bit. So I don't believe him.
He is not dead, but
Dang it.
So how about whoever? So what is y'all's guess?
What does Curry have again to what?
Curry has 270, and he leads the NBA. So CJ, since you went second with answer choices, we'll let you pick first with your
I'm
number.
gonna go with 225.
Okay.
I'm going to go 224.
What a jerk. All right. The correct answer was Buddy Hield.
Really?
I would have never guessed.
217.
Oh man.
All right. So James takes a 1-0 lead. Only because he got closer.
Because I did the cop-out way.
Question number 2. Very similar question. Who leads the league in total rebounds this season? All right. So this is total, not average per game. Total rebounds. Any guesses before guesses for 3 points? But yeah, 3 points because every question has at least 2 points in it.
No.
No, James? No? Okay. Answer choices are Jonas Valanciunas, Nikola Jokic, Rudy Gobert, Domantas Sabonis. And so this is for the league leader in total rebounds. Second place has 750 rebounds.
You said the person I was thinking, but I still don't think it's right.
So Valanciunas, Gobert, Sabonis, Jokic.
Do I go first?
CJ will go first this time. Yeah.
I'm going to guess. I'm gonna go Sabonis.
Okay, James.
I was gonna go Sabonis, but I will change my answer in nature of the show.
Okay.
Let's go Valanciunas. Why not?
Okay. And James, you have the first guess. How many rebounds does
850. 825.
Okay. CJ?
826.
Nice.
The correct answer is Nikola Jokic.
Dang it.
And he has done a good job. First place is 819 rebounds.
Wow.
Boom,
So
CJ.
close again.
So James takes a 2-0 lead.
I'm
And we're on to
dominating.
question number 3. Who leads the league in total number of assists? So this is not per game. This is total number of assists. Any guesses before we go to multiple choice? For 3 points.
Total number.
Nope, none from James.
Dude, I'll throw Chris Paul out there.
Okay. All right. So CJ's guess is Chris Paul. And we will go to answer choices for James. Is it Trae Young, Dejounte Murray, Chris Paul, or James Harden?
Dejounte Murray.
Okay. Second place has 564 assists. How many does the first place person have? CJ, you will pick first.
590.
Wait. Did we?
Technically, I'd have went first in the guess, and he would guess this part first. So
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
What'd you say, CJ?
No, that's a 590.
591.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the league leader in total assists is Chris Paul.
Let's go.
The Chris Paul has 619 assists.
So
So
I'm still
CJ
a loser.
CJ has tied the game at 3 with his 3-pointer from Chris Paul.
Let's go.
James gets 1 for getting the closer on the assists.
I didn't
All
think
right.
Chris Paul was because he's missed so many games.
Yeah, still got it by
He gets a lot of assists.
36, 55 assists.
Who's second?
I believe it's Trae Young.
I know he averages
All right.
like 12.
Who is the league leader in total number of steals this season?
This is so stupid.
I do not have a total for this one. So this
I
is
do not
just-
have a guess for this one.
Yeah, same.
All right, so the league leaders in total steals are, is it Tyrese Halliburton, Chris Paul, Dejounte Murray, Gary Trent Jr.? I forget.
I guess
who picked.
first.
I guess it's CJ first this time, I guess. Yep.
I'm gonna go Murray.
Good. James?
I'm just gonna start going first. Who's the very first one? Halliburton. I'll go Halliburton.
Correct answer is Dejounte Murray.
Should've
Let's
gone with it.
go.
So CJ takes a 4-3 lead. Last question.
Let me guess blocks.
Who has scored the most total points in the league so far? So who has scored the most points? Not average. Who scored the most points?
Oh, this is hard. You should just let us guess and not give us multiple choice.
So
I'm gonna guess. Oh wait, it's you. You can go first.
are you gonna do a guess, James?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So y'all don't even want multiple choice. I'm just gonna guess. Okay, cool.
Probably. There's no way. Can't do it.
You can still get 2 points if you beat him with the if you get it in the multiple choice and then get it closer with his total number of points.
I know about that life. Come on, dog. Let me just go. I'm gonna regret Joel Embiid.
Okay, CJ, any guesses?
Yes, I will guess.
Can I take my second guess after this? Just so who I was gonna say.
Sure.
I'm gonna go Steph.
All right, and then James, how many points does you think Joel Embiid has?
Oh man, how many games have they played? But average.
60, 65, 66.
Oh gosh,
I'll tell you, the second place has 600 or 1,673 points.
I was gonna guess 1,800, but that seems a little high now. I'll stick with 1,800.
Okay, CJ.
I'll go 1,700.
All right. The correct so just so y'all know, both of y'all's options are in the top 4.
No,
The league leader
That's good.
in points
I was gonna say LeBron James was my next guess.
is DeMar DeRozan
Oh, he does have it.
oh really? I think I did
At-
hear that actually.
at 1,743
Oh,
points.
that's awful.
So CJ
Let's
got him by 7
go.
points. CJ is our champion for
I
today.
suck at trivia.
At least you're better than Jake.
Yeah, it's not hard to be better than Jake. All right. Well, that's all we have today. I want to thank CJ for coming in, definitely for the NBA. It's always good to have your insight. It's just not me and Wes talking up here because we could talk about nonsense for a long time.
Yes.
So thank you for listening. Let us know what you think. We might try to do a March Madness preview before. I'll be probably available. Actually, Mitch will be at my house next week. So Mitch will be
nice.
there. And we'll try to do something. We'll do something. Probably Monday night, maybe. Well, first games are probably Wednesday, the playing games.
Thursday.
Thursday? Playing games are Thursday?
I believe it's Thursday.
Okay. We might do something Wednesday. I don't know. We'll see. Anywho, thank you. And have a blessed night.